Hola, bon dia. Carl Munson here with the Expats, Portugal.com. Good morning, Portugal show. How are you this morning? Loads of people already here. Special guest in the green room lining up to be with us this morning, Gonçalo Marques of Shoevenir. I like what he did there. Check this out. Look, this is what we're going to find out about on Consumer Tuesday here on the Good Morning Portugal show. We like to do consumer stuff, money, business, and so on. And it's always a pleasure to feature a new business or an entrepreneurial idea that revolves around Portugal. And this is perfect, a perfect fit, a little bit like the shoe, hopefully, of Shoevenir, the soul of Portugal. Do you see what I did there? So we'll talk to Gonçalo in just a moment after we've said hello to a few people who are tuned in already. Matty, I'm going to start calling you Matty. I think everyone else in the Man Cave does that, don't they? Feliz terça-feira a todos as pessoas encantadoras da comunidade Expats Portugal de Amsterdam. So my best Portuguese pronunciation, given that we've got a Portuguese guest, he'll tell me how well I did, I think, in just a moment. But from Amsterdam, Matty saying hi and wishing everybody a happy Tuesday in his best Portuguese there here on the show. Elra Linda, Portuguese, but in Finland. How are you doing? Stephen Wells is here as well. Francis is here too with an hola todos. And Tom is here. Jackie's here with a bon dia, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We don't say bon dia alegria anymore, do we? Has everybody forgotten that? Bon dia from Mark as well in Norfolk in the UK. And Jared Russell's here with a bon dia as well. And Thunderduck, of course. Bon dia to you, Mr. and Mrs. Duck in the capital. Paul Richards tuned in from Yorkshire, from Harrogate, weather dull. And I will show your pictures today. I forgot to do that sunset at the end of the show. We're going to get into the habit, I think, of having a sunrise and a sunset. If you've got a nice sunrise or sunset photo of Portugal, or where you're tuned in from in your love of Portugal, do send that to me. Dull, drafty, and depressing. Roll on Portugal, he says. Michelle's here as well. Jared is actually in Las Vegas. Michelle being in La Ria this morning. Dominique tuned in from South Africa. I think we might get some of these sneakers all over the world at this rate that we're going to talk about in just a moment. In America, Jeff Jackson, Bon dia alegria. Yes, thank you, sir. And Mark Rigby in the north of Portugal, pretty much not far from Gonçalo, who'll be on with us in just a moment. It's a hot, sunny day in Porto already at just a few minutes past 9. So let's bring him on. Gonçalo, bon dia to you, my friend. How are you?
Bon dia. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm Gonçalo. I'm co-founder of Shoevenir. And I'm really happy to be here and talk about my project a little bit.
It's so good of you to be here. And typically, like many young Portuguese entrepreneurs I've met, you throw yourself in at the deep end with much gusto and enthusiasm. I'm really impressed. You didn't really know what you were letting yourself in for, did you? You sent us a message. I love what you do. And I said, do you want to join me on the show? You said, yep, fine. And here you are.
Exactly. When we started, I was not sure if this was going to work because we didn't have any knowledge on shoe industry or design industry related to fashion. But we had the name, we had the idea, we had the word Shoevenir, and we thought it was wonderful, and we had a concept to explore. The tourism in Portugal was exploding everywhere, so we realized we could have an opportunity to create a product different for related to the offer that already existed in the market. So we grabbed the word Shoevenir and we just started to develop the best souvenir someone could ever get if they visit Portugal. And now we just open the door for any other region. We can do Shoevenir Barcelona, Shoevenir New York. Basically, the concept is really adaptable to any kind of memory. We transform memories into sneakers. That's what we do.
Amazing. Okay, so before we go to the rest of the world, because I mean we're all Portugal fans here, Luciphiles.
Yeah.
Here on Good Morning Portugal show. So tell us about the range so far and how it relates. How exactly do you make a Shoevenir as a souvenir? How do you turn a region of Portugal into some footwear? So tell us how this actually works.
Okay. So basically, when we started, we were not sure how could we make this relation between a place and a sneaker. Because if you just grab a white sneaker and you put there like calçada portuguesa or the azulejo or some really obvious memory or element of Portugal, it's really it's too simple. It was going to be a souvenir if we did that, like a white sneaker with just a print of some Portuguese elements. But it was going to be too simple, too basic, and really easy to copy. So basically, what we did is I don't know if I'm sharing my screen. Am I?
We can do it for you now. There you go.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. So basically, what we did is we created 5 really different illustrations from collaborations with 5 top artists from Portugal. That basically it's a postcard, really nice postcard of a place, and then we apply that postcard in the inside, in the footbed of the sneaker. So this is the postcard of Açores. This is Algarve. I'm just going to show them really quick. This is Lisboa.
They are beautiful.
And this is Madeira. And as you can see, there's a lot of elements and colors and memories in each postcard. They were designed by really, really talented people. We have their pictures here. You can check them also in our Instagram. And basically, with this, we just developed the footbed, the inside of the sneaker. Let me just get it here. For example, here in Lisbon, in this example, you can see here the illustration. Basically, all the memories are inside the sneaker. And that's the way we found to make fashionable, clean design sneakers that also have a connection with the place. We put it inside a sneaker, and people are basically with their feet on Lisbon with this Shoevenir. This is the image of Shoevenir Lisbon. So basically, also what we did was we created a relation between the place, the chromatic pattern of the place. So okay, this is the okay. So basically, as you can see, Lisbon, they have a lot of yellows and blacks, and much related to the calçada portuguesa, the pastel de nata, the elétrico. And we mix those elements in order to create a souvenir. You can see inspired by the walks on calçada portuguesa, pastel de nata, the vintage elétrico. And basically, we just mix a lot of elements from the region, and we merge it in the sneaker. You can see Azores, the colors of the region are close to the colors in the souvenirs. That was our goal. You can see here in Algarve, of course, a place I love, a place that watched me grow. I really have a deep connection with Algarve and Porto, of course, because it's my hometown. And it's really, it was a challenge to create this harmony between a place, an illustration, and a sneaker. But we took our time. We spent almost 2 years developing the sneakers, and we're really happy with the results.
They are beautiful. They are true works of art for your feet. And they're very understated, aren't they? You can see that the color scheme is in the shoe when you're wearing the shoe, and then you get a more of a full-on illustration inside in the insole. But I love it how you haven't been too obvious. I mean, when it comes to merchandise for what we're doing here, we went for a fairly straightforward mug with the Barcelona cockerel. Now that's not as artistic and subtle and beautiful as you've done there. I really, really love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and the look at this, Bon dia from Pamela Smith here. Can't wait for the Silver Coast Shoevenir. So I guess that's the first question from our community then. How's this going to work? Can people request that you come to their neighborhood and make a shoe?
Sorry. Well, at this early stage phase, we want to make Shoevenir Portugal possible, because basically right now what we have is just prototypes. We created all campaign with prototypes, and we haven't started our production yet. So basically we're going live on September with pre-orders. People are going to be able to pre-order their Shoevenir for a way lower price, because they still need to be produced, and they're going to be delivered in about 2-3 months. So basically people are going to order them in September, October, and they're going to be delivered in December, January. The reward we give to people for believing in us is we're going to sell them for a much lower price. Their retail price is going to be 119, but we're going to sell them at 75, because, well, people are believing in us, and that's how we can show them our appreciation. We're going to sell them for a much lower price because they still need to be produced.
Well, put me down for those. I like that discount, and I really love the shoes. So I think I've already done that. To qualify, you go to your is it Indiegogo
Website.
Yeah,
right now we're only we're just showing the brand to the world because we spent so much time developing, and the concept is a little bit complex because there's so many layers of story and elements that we're just taking our time. We just released Shoevenir Lisbon, the first sneaker, like 2 weeks ago. So we're going to keep explaining how Shoevenir represents place, how it connects to so many memories for about more 2-3 weeks, and then we're going to launch on September. And during September, people are going to be it's going to be possible just to pick your size, your model, and your dress, and it's done. And dress is just wait, and you're going to get yours.
Fantastic. Okay, so Jackie's saying this is such an amazing idea. Love them. We'll need to buy some. Please, if you can send me the Instagram link, cut and paste that for me in the private chat, maybe, and I'll make sure everybody gets that. And
Sure.
If you want to release the crowdfunder already, then do send that to me. That would be great. We're also getting a love them from Jared as well. Stylish and comfortable. I mean, we're talking quite high end, aren't we here? With the, I guess not the highest of the high end compared to some sneakers, but that's the price reflects, I think, how much work has gone into this, of course, as well, and how much you guys need to invest into your future development. So I think that's a pretty fair price considering. And I need to ask you maybe an awkward question. Are these made in Portugal yet?
All made in Portugal. Everything 100% Portuguese. We took a really long time with the developing phase because me and Miguel, we didn't know anything about shoes or shoe industry. So we took our time. We went to the factories. We just rang the bells, and we kept asking questions to everyone. And we started to understand the processes, and we visit all the suppliers we know, the laces suppliers, the soles, the corking soles, everything, every textile. We visit them. We saw the conditions. We were so happy. We're working with such good partners. The quality of shoes here in Portugal is unbelievably good. We have a really strong culture of shoe, a little bit too direct to leather, and that's a shame for us because we don't use any animal product. Which everything is animal free, everything is vegan and sustainable.
Okay.
But the quality associated with leather is also really good. Boots and shoes. Yes. So here there's a really high pattern of quality in Portugal in terms of shoe making. So we're just thrilled to be working with such good partners, certificated materials and certificated conditions. Amazing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Amazing. So the provenance, the whole backstory is solid. And that's what people are looking for these days, I think, isn't it? You don't want to think that these have been made by kids in China, do you? You've got the real deal here.
Yeah, that's true. That's real deal.
So I love the
at least we like to think.
Well, you've done your due diligence. You're making a great product here, and actually, that makes the price even more reasonable because when people are getting a bargain these days, it's not that's what things cost. It's just that the cost is moved around, isn't it? And often the cost is felt in the environment or in slave labor or something like that. So this is a fair price for an amazing concept, which Penny absolutely loves over in the UK. Also, Francis, sorry if I've already featured this, but he says, look, they look really good. I love the concept.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thomas, 1 minute, Gonzalo, I'll just be right back.
Okay.
Now, what Thomas is getting at here is that I bought these. This is what you don't want to be doing. These are the little training shoes, okay? And I'm sorry to have to even show those to you. And I can explain. I bought them as a joke for a friend, okay? But apparently they're worth a fortune around the world because of the color scheme. I can't believe it myself. Anyone who watches the show is welcome to shoot me if they see me walking in those in any of the places you've described before, Madeira, Açores, Porto, or Lisboa. But thank you, Thomas, for mentioning it. We also, Jackie said, I think if I did read this before, it's worth reading again. Such an amazing idea. Love them. We'll need to buy some.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Not at all. We've got a few more hellos from people as well before we find out a bit more from you and how we can support you. From Taiwan this morning, look, FNTKM 97 with a bon dia from Taiwan. Carlos
Good
is
morning.
here. Portuguese, boa, dom Portimão nublado mais refrescante. So a kind of cloudy and refreshing day in Portimão so far. Lourdes Albert is here. Hello, I'd like to join you on the show. I'm from Poland. What's that? You're at the expo, or is that your company there? And let's talk about my experiences of making and teaching Portuguese and making, what is that? Theatres, puppet theatres, possibly here in Poland. A hasty bit of typing there, I think, Lourdes, but why not? PM me, or my email address is on the screen in just a moment. Bon dia alegria from a not so warm Calgary. Wow, 7 degrees Celsius at 2:09 in the morning. Can't sleep. Grab a coffee and watch the Good Morning Portugal show. Great postcards, by the way. So I imagine, Gonzalo, you do get asked this. Is there any other way to access the artwork apart from wearing the shoes?
Yeah, actually, we're going to offer a postcard inside every box. So you're going to, for sure, see the illustration full size with your shoebox. In the future, we also want to sell the artwork in the bigger size in a collaboration with the artist, probably in his platform. Because there's also this respect for the illustration that we need to have. We don't want to, normalize it. It's such a beautiful artwork. We don't want it in a mass production type of offer. So we want to keep it a little bit exclusive. Every box comes with a little postcard, so you can see it full size. And in the future, we want to work with the artists for them to sell them their illustrations. It's their work. Of course, we did a collaboration here, but we just think it's fair like that. It's an amazing masterpieces. I'm so lucky to have them all at my place. We spent quite some time developing them with them. We had to allocate some time. Okay, now we're going to develop Shoevenir Porto, and we need like 1 or 2 or 3 months per sneaker, because there's a lot of thinking associated with it. What's going to be the elements in the illustration? What's going to be the color pattern? How is it going to match the sneaker? And how are we going to tell the story also? So each illustration has quite some time invested and a beautiful story behind it. So yeah, you're going to access them for sure. No worries.
Absolutely right. And I do love the collaborative element here, and that it's so much a celebration of Portugal. And yeah, a very patriotic shoe. William Ogilby, bon dia, Portugal. Great to see a product in Portugal. It's about time businesses brought employment back to their own country, employing local labor. Great. A thumbs up and a smiley face. Totally agree. My great uncle was a cobbler in Porto, and I know that Portuguese shoes are some of the best in the world. So you're
yes,
part
they
of that.
are. Yes, they are.
Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, Colin, it's true. But yes, they are. They're so good here.
Yeah, being young, I assume they do wide and a 47. Sounds like a good deal to Colin. So yeah, that's interesting. For the people, I mean, Colin is no spring chicken, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. But these are, who is your demographic? Who are you aiming these shoes at? Is it at the younger end of the market?
Not only for sure. We try to create a sneaker that's quite consensual, unisex, and can be used by any age. Of course, we don't have the kids size, and that's unfortunate, because we've already got the feedback that some parents really like the sneakers and wanted to give them to their child. But unfortunately, we don't have them available yet. Maybe for our next collection. But our range, it's young people. I mean, everyone's young, it's a matter of attitude. So that's I mean, we don't have quite a demographic. We just want sneakers for people that love to travel, love to keep some memories close to them, love fashion, love arts, love sustainability. That's our market.
And the vegan market, of course.
Also, of course, that was also a really important matter for us. We saw quite early that there's a wide range of materials that could be used in our sneakers that are sustainable, that don't come from animals. And it was a really easy decision, that we really wanted to change the things in the fashion industry because of fast fashion, mass production, especially from Asia. and we needed to do something towards it, and so we just opted for only animal-free components, and we also planting a tree for each pair of Shoevenir sold.
Are you? Bless you. That sounds. I mean, you've really thought about this, haven't you? Clearly.
We had time. We had time. We had the pandemic. We had time, and
Yes.
we just kept, adding layers of value to it.
Yeah, and when you say we, your partner is Miguel in this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's shout out to
my partner is Miguel.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately he's not here. He's going to join me later for work, but he's not here today. And Miguel is one of my best friends, one of my childhood friends. Actually, our parents already knew each other before we were born, so we had to be friends. We didn't have any option.
So soulmates. Sorry, bad joke, but anyway.
No, but yeah, we're really close, really good friends. We understand that we really have different visions. Miguel is a designer. I'm my bachelor, my degree is in management, and my post-graduation also related to it. So I'm more a little bit rational. Miguel has a creative side, and it really works.
Good combination.
It's a good combination. Yeah.
Yes. Why does David think this? Why does David think they're men's only? Because of the there's no maybe high heel version or something like that. David, I'm not sure. These are you said, right?
I understand. Yeah, it's unisex. Yeah, sure. If you go to our Instagram, we've been posting some girls wearing the sneakers because we had that feedback in the beginning. I quite understand because the format of the sneaker, it's a little bit more bulky. So I can understand the more masculine vibe, but by the other hand, we have a lot of women that love the sneakers, and they've been dropping their emails. We have more than 1,000 emails in 2 weeks. It's unbelievable. We're so happy. I mean, of course, it doesn't mean people are going. Of course, not everyone that drops the email buys the Shoevenir, but that's an excellent sign. We're just so happy to having such a good feedback from people. Yeah,
without that, you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. Love the look, love the concept. Are sales only through online sales, or do you have a place in Lisbon to go try them on? And again, Thunderduck is asking a similar question. Will they be available in a shop? It's hard for me to buy shoes without trying them on first. So what's the answer to that?
Okay, I totally understand. I really identify with you. I really like to try the sneakers before I buy them. But unfortunately, in this early phase, because we don't have stock, we're going to release the product on crowdfunding in order to make the production happen. After that, of course, we want to be in flagship stores. We want to be in airports. We want to be in train stations. We want to be where the travelers are and where people, are in their moment of just living the experience of traveling. We want to be there, and we want to take us with you home.
That's such a good idea. But obviously, in the beginning, you've got to start. You've got to look. I've got a fly in with this fly season, everybody. But I've got a secret weapon here: a green fly swat, which creates some nice green. But anyway, okay. So that one day. So in the airport lounges, as you're leaving, or as you're on your last few days of your holiday, you're shopping in the stores of the town or the city, and you can pick a pair up. So first of all, we need to do it online, and then we'll grow into that.
Yes, I also the thing about it on the online, it's much easier for us to explain and to tell our story, because just by grabbing a Shoevenir in a store or anywhere, any place physical, you can't really understand all the story behind it. It's easier on online because there's a lot of visual supports that help us to tell the story and to relate all the components of what it is a Shoevenir. Of course, we want to be present in stores and in places. It's really important for us. But in order to deep understand what we're trying to, the message we're trying to pass, it's much easier for us to just sell it online in our website, Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
Of course, no, and in the early days, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
That's your management head coming in there. I can see that, Gonzalo. So yeah, David was saying it's the Instagram pics that made him think that possibly they were more of a male shoe. However, it was his wife who was
asking the questions. I don't know, David. I don't know if it's possible to pass our promotional video. It has just 1 minute. in my
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
Instagram?
Yes, let's roll
Let
that.
me.
Sure.
Can
Uh,
I
uh,
can I
yeah, of
start?
course.
Just
Yeah.
I just need to press it.
All right. Hold on. There we go. All yours. Very nice. Great photo shoot as well. Beautifully done. Oh, I think we got a slightly glitchy playback, but you get the idea there. Look at that. Fantastic. I'm not getting sound my end here, Gonzalo, but we get the picture.
Oh, okay. No worries.
You know,
Yeah, that
you
was the. I just wanted to show you also because there's also many girls wearing the sneakers.
yeah,
It's also easy for people to understand how can they use them with any. I mean, with any outfit. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It just there's
absolutely.
memories in your feet.
Yeah, and there are many women like Penny here, of course. I love my Dr. Martens, so chunky is good. And I notice in Portugal at
Mm,
the moment, a lot of girls are happy to wear very chunky shoes at the moment, especially the Dr. Martens. Gary, this is a slightly different question, I think, but I'd love to find a place that will be able to make a pair of shoes for Linda. That's his wife. She has a lot of problems because of arthritis. I mean, can you get handmade shoes in Portugal, do you think?
yeah, you can for sure. Portugal is a great place for shoemaking. I'm sure there are a lot of brands that are specialized in orthopedics and any kind of adaptation you need in your feet. Uh,
Yes.
well, for us, it's really hard to customize at that point because we don't have
Of
the
course.
size, we don't have the scaling to
Yeah,
just do one pair for one person.
of
That
course.
was something that we really wanted to consider in the beginning is to just customize any memory. For example, you go on vacations to Mexico and you want a Shoevenir Mexico, and uh, but we don't have the size to do this, and we don't have the scale. It's really hard to just produce one unit. It's a factory needs to stop to produce that unit, so it's super expensive. And so basically, we're just launching this first edition, and we want to also collaborate with artists in order to customize the Shoevenir Cloud, that is our white model. So our message is that Shoevenir Cloud, just like you, can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
And in the future, we want to do collaborations in order to create exclusive models of the Shoevenir Cloud customized, like painted, and
Oh,
with any
wow.
kind of memory in it. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
path also we want to go
Yeah.
in terms of customization.
Yeah, amazing. Incredible. And I love it. I mean, so many angles here. Tree planting as well. Fantastic. The vegan angle on it. And some of our crowd, look, they weren't expecting this morning. Munson in shoe fashion reportage. Shocker. Absolutely midlife crisis this morning. It's actually David's wife now has taken over David's YouTube channel. Sign me up for a pair of Madolas.
That's perfect. That's perfect. You just it's really easy. Just go to our website souvenirworld.com and you just drop an email there. And as soon as we launch, we're going to send everyone a reminder. Okay, people, we're ready for orders.
Um,
Because right now we're just planning really good our campaign in order to be everything really clear and explained. I understand sometimes it's hard to just buy a sneaker and just get it 3 months later. But we don't have them. I wish I really love them. I would really love to have them in stock just for the delivery. But we don't have them. Unfortunately, we need to work this way. We didn't have the resources to produce the minimum order quantity. So we just developed the product, produced the minimum for the campaign, and now we're going to ready for pre-orders.
Yep, superb. Now, if there is somebody watching who's like an angel investor and thinks, "I love these guys, I love this idea," are you open to investment from investors?
Yeah, yes, we are. It's a matter of discussion and seeing what the investor could bring to us besides money, of course, because we're quite sure. we're going to reach the quantity of the minimum of our quantity in order to produce. We've been having a lot of great feedback, and well, I think it's going to happen. I'm really, I mean, I need to be hopeful about it for sure. And
I think you're right. I think you're right. I would love, congratulations, says Jeff here. So exciting to see the passion of young entrepreneurs
thank
bringing
you.
it to the market. Love that you've made an often mass-produced product, and it's true, isn't it? The backstory for so many trainers is not good, but you've turned it
Yes.
into a homegrown and sustainable idea, which is absolutely wonderful. And Jeff also asked, can you ship to USA, or is it only within Portugal? So will you be shipping
We're
all over
going
the world?
to ship worldwide. Yeah, for sure. No worries.
Oh,
No worries about that. We're going to make them. We're going to send them everywhere. Actually, we had a really cool story. I had a friend, really close friend of mine, that is working in Dubai, and he came here to our hometown to hang for like 2 weeks, and he had a friend in Dubai that was passionate about sneakers. He sent us message every day saying he wants he wants a Shoevenir, Shoevenir Algarve, because he's been there and he's in love with the place, and he wants a Shoevenir in Dubai. So
yeah.
basically, when our friend came back to Dubai, we sent a Shoevenir with him to this friend in Dubai that was there, and he received the sneakers. He sent us a lot of pictures. So happy with about it. So basically, it was our first importation, our first exportation. Actually, it was our first international sale. This friend of our friend that lives in Dubai, and of course, it happened because our close friend just put the sneakers in his bag and took it home. So it was really easy, the transaction, but it happened, and we're so happy about it.
You're going to get so many great photos from people. Our mug, this is somebody who bought one of our mugs, and they're flying an airplane. So you're going to get stuff like this, I think, from all over the world, because your product is so photogenic and so creative and beautiful.
Thank you.
If you're okay for a few more minutes, we have some more input from people. Thomas in
Sure.
Almari and surrounds, for instance, there are numerous leather workers making shoes, including bespoke. So I think that's in the Ribatejo Valley. Jim's in this morning. Bon dia from a cloudy and cooler Tavira, where you would want the Algarve sneaker, of course. Barbara here. Good morning from Poland. Silesia over there. Pharmacies. Oh, this is for Gary. Yes, a shoe that might accommodate somebody with arthritis there. Nice, helpful tip from Elra. I remember sneaker from Adidas, which came with a magic marker to decorate them. The shoes were just white with black Adidas stripes. Lol. So they were doing that a while ago. I think I much prefer your version. Final thing I wanted to talk to you about, just to broaden the discussion, Gonzalo, is it does feel like there is a new breed, like yourself and Miguel, of young entrepreneurs in Portugal. Are you working in a supportive environment with the universities, with the government? Is there something happening? Is there a phenomenon afoot? Pardon the pun.
Yeah, I feel that the Portuguese state is creating the instruments for people like me that want to start their projects, just to develop it at some point that is developed enough for you to consider to turn it into a business or not. So when you have an idea, you need to spend some time validating the idea, getting knowledge about the thing you're working on. And I feel that the conditions to develop the idea at that point, where you consider to turn it to business or not, are getting better. So actually, me and Miguel, we got in this startup program for about a year and a half. They gave us a lot of support. We've been associated with the University of Porto incubator, and they also gave us like well, they gave us some money to invest in the project. I'm missing the word in English, but they basically give us
or seed capital or something like that.
not seed capital. But they gave us some money. It was like a salary for us to develop the idea. It was pretty much like this, and it really helped us because we could be available. We could apply our time to develop Shoevenir because we were getting paid to do it. Not much, but enough for us to spend our time developing the idea. So, to answer your question, I feel that in Portugal, the ecosystem of entrepreneurship is getting developed and is getting, it's helping people to develop their ideas. and for sure we benefit from it. We have also a close relationship with the University of Porto, where our incubator is, and they helped us a lot with the press release. For example, we're showing up in every Portuguese news magazine. We're going to the television tomorrow, and probably in a couple of weeks again. So yeah, I guess that would have happened if we had to do the press release by ourselves. So for sure, there's been an upgrade on the quality of the infrastructures surrounding the entrepreneurship environment.
That's so good to hear. Another question from our community: what steps? The shoe puns and jokes. I'm sorry on behalf of Stephen here, but what steps have you taken to protect the brand and concept? I guess that's something you have to think about as an entrepreneur with a great idea.
Sure. That was the first thing me and Miguel invested in. It was to protect the trademark here in Portugal and then in the European Union. So Shoevenir is our trademark here and in the European Union. Of course, we want to take another step and protect it in States, China, and Brazil, and any mass markets. But for now, that was we could afford was to protect the Shoevenir at this level. And we know that if we are the best doing this, and we're really confident, and we can be a reference in terms of connecting memories and shoes, we're going to be safe because we really solidify the concept and the idea, and of course the trademark is protected. And we just need to keep doing a good work for people to recognize us as the original, even if someone tries to copy us. Well, that's something we need to be prepared for, and we are.
It's almost a good problem to have sometime in the future. Imitation is flattery, isn't it? So, Gonzalo,
it's a good sign.
Thank you so much for joining this morning. Short notice, not really knowing what you're letting yourself in for, and I would echo the sentiments from Pamela. Boa sorte, Gonzalo. Same.
Thank you. Obrigado. Muito obrigado.
All the best to you, and all the best to Miguel, and good luck with your idea. I hope we see you here in 5 years' time, if you can fit us in and talking about the worldwide success of the brand.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Thank you, everyone, for the questions and the feedback. It's so happy to. It's so grateful to hear that from you, because we've been developing this product and we just kept it for ourselves for a really long time. We didn't want to spoil or just take the risk to be copied. So after almost 2 years of developing, showing the world our baby, and having such great feedback, it's really heartwarming. Thank you so much for the feedback.
It's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Ciao, ciao. Até logo.
Ciao, bye-bye. Adeus. Bye-bye. Obrigado.
There he goes. Gonzalo Marques there from Shoevenir. What a lovely idea. I love those. And I'm going to get myself that discount, I think. 75 notes for a pair of shoes. That does hurt a little bit, but because I think these were only 15, and they're not for me. They're not. It's like apples and oranges, right? Did you want just to have a linger for a moment and look at these? Can you imagine yourself in those? Can you on a Saturday night with your favorite aftershave and your medallion, maybe shirt open to the belly button? That's my look on a Saturday night. Why shouldn't it be yours? And I'm only talking to the men there. Well, we don't judge. Okay, fantastic. Gonzalo there with his fabulous Shoevenir line. Somebody's selling, is that true? Someone's selling those for £800 on eBay UK. These. So maybe these aren't going to make it to my friend after all, and I need to get back down to Lidl's a bit later on today. I think Lidl have done that. Lidl have said that they're selling for £800 on eBay, and they buy them back off you on eBay, and then they put them back out again, and they keep selling them and cause a massive feeding frenzy on those shoes. Okay, Parminda says, I don't want to detract from Shoevenir. Sounds fab. I have found Portuguese-made shoes excellent for Lisbon streets and pavements and arthritic toes. Yes, because the old calçada have respect for no man or woman, do they? London Fly. Sorry, Fly London. Which, I mean, it sounds like you end up having a trip with those, Fly London, but I'm sure they're very safe, as you suggest there, Parminda. That might be a good shout there for Mrs. Austin. And Mark would also like to recommend a line of boat shoes, a Discovery line. Yacht owners would love it. Okay, so that's not a different brand. That's a particular brand within the Shoevenir concept. Thank you very much, Mark. Okay, overlooked some photographs yesterday, some pics that were sent in. Incidentally, I am just slightly hesitant here. It is Consumer Business Money Tuesday sort of concepts that we deal with here on the Good Morning Portugal show on a Tuesday. We might be joined by somebody who is a mortgage broker, a company that operates, that have been operating historically in Spain, but also work in Portugal now. And I thought it might be good to quiz them. I've been trying to get somebody on the show for a long time now who deals with that sort of finance, mortgaging. And they got in touch with me only yesterday. And I said, why don't you join me on the show in the morning? So it might be that it's just been a bridge too far to make the connection this morning. But they might join it at any minute. I don't know. In the meantime, I've got a little bit of housekeeping to catch up with, a few leftovers from yesterday, where Dougie joined us, you remember, on talking about his travelogue, really, around Portugal. And I neglected in the rush to say where this delightful place was here. I put it on the screen. This is from Antonio. And I'm not sure if he's here or if he's up north, because we also showed, actually, I'll show those again this morning. Antonio sent me a whole load of pics, and I'm so grateful to him and everyone who does that. And he said, this is where I was at the weekend. Do you know where that is? And to help you a little bit more, here's some detail from the same town in Tamar. In Portugal, you didn't hear that. From the same city, town in Portugal. And another detail here. A little bit of a slip there. So beautiful, and one of so many beautiful such delights in Portugal. But can you guess the name of this town? I think the Portuguese would call it a city. To me, it's of a town scale, and it's an amazing place, absolutely beautiful place. And we were there actually last week. So we'll let that come in, still as a bit of a guessing game. Antonio also shared pictures of his mother-in-law's quinta. And I showed these yesterday on the gardening Q&A, but I think they're worthy of inclusion this morning. Namely, look at this bean collection from the mother-in-law there, and up in Trás-os-Montes. And the funny thing we discovered yesterday, that in Trás-os-Montes, they have a saying that it's something like novo meses de inverno, and then tres meses of inferno. So basically describing the weather up in Trás-os-Montes, if you are interested in deciding on where to live in Portugal, in Trás-os-Montes in the northeast, they have 9 months of winter and 3 months of hell. But that is by Portuguese standards. Probably just goes down to about 1 degree or 0 degrees. But it's very different to the Algarve, that's for sure, where we'll also be visiting this morning photographically. Also from the mother-in-law's quinta, look at this. The mother-in-law, that would be the mother at home, wouldn't it, in Portuguese? An incredible salad there. The before and after pics of salad, that's the before one. Also, some beans. Look at those string beans. They are a Portuguese variety of bean. They really do look like they've bolted, or that they might be like literally runner beans, but that is a variety of Portuguese string bean there. Also from the garden, the traditional caldo verde, which maybe a little bit later on in the year, you're going to see some plastic bags over the heads of those to collect the seeds. And we were talking to head gardener McGrady yesterday about how when you first arrive in Portugal, that is quite a bizarre sight, because cabbage tends to die off in the winter if you come from the UK. And they don't, you don't have it growing perpetually. Here in Portugal, you have it growing perpetually, and often on the perimeter, on the boundary of the garden. To proudly say cabbage eaters live here in there, and that's a wonderful ingredient, of course, that is shredded and put into the soup. Look at the size of those tomatoes, matron. Aren't they fabulous as well, I think, from the earlier tomato bush? And I think somebody thought that was a cucumber. I've got that down actually as a marrow. I think that's a thin marrow, but you can see it's a 2-footer with I think there might be Antonio's own foot in there for scale. But isn't that fabulous? Absolutely wonderful. What's this here? Oh, that's somebody else's garden. That's some companion planting of tomatoes and basil in the foreground there. And if you like this sort of thing, there's a homemade fly trap as well. You don't need a fly spot. You can use that. That was apparently some sugar water with some food coloring in to make it look like olive flowers, which the flies seem to like. Isn't that interesting? And also from that same garden, a beautiful passion flower. Okay. So quite the gallery this morning. And also, while we're talking about homesteading and rural life, we have a very special webinar for you this week. We've had a little bit of a rejig. Mia was going to be joining us on Thursday. Mia Asmeres, who you see on here from time to time, teaching us Portuguese language and culture. She was going to be joining us on Thursday. We've moved that around. I think she's gone for a holiday. It's still August, isn't it? But in that place, 2 days' time, if you're interested in homesteading, the good life, etc., we've got Luke and Sarah coming back. The off-gridders, Luke and Sarah, coming back to join us on a panel alongside Phil and Kimberly. So they're new. You saw the Monsanto video yesterday, didn't you? With Kimberly and Phil, who are newly in Portugal and hoping to build their own homestead here. I gave you the link to their blog. They're going to be joining us on Thursday, as are Luke and Sarah. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think Umberto will be in there somewhere talking about off-grid technology as well. So I for one, am looking forward very much to our off-grid / rural / homesteading special, which we're going to have in 2 days' time. 7:30. Book up now. Book your place. It's so fresh off the press that there might not be a booking form yet, but watch out for that and make sure you're a premium member at expatsportugal.com /upgrade, and you'll get a priority seat at that webinar. Okay, what else do we have for you this morning? Yes, we still have this. And I'm going to go back to the comments to see if anybody has identified this Portuguese city. And I must share with you some beautiful pictures. One of the Algarve now, and then we'll come back. Remind me, somebody, I need to show you the sunsets, don't I? But this is not a sunset. I don't know what time of day this is, but this is one of Paul's beautiful pictures, which he called mystical Algarve there, with a sea mist enveloping the coastline there. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you very much. Paul Rich is in Harrogate at the moment, and hopefully in the Algarve very soon. Very good. Very good. To Susan and Stephen, we'll come back to you in just a moment. And super color. Is that one of the photos? Is that my trainers? I'm not sure. Those little trainers, says Gary, could be useful if you go belly up out on one of your walks. They'd make you much easier to find. Like, instead of having to take distress flares with you, you can just wear your little trainers, I think is what Garvo is saying there. Susan Cox, absolutely right. Tomar. And Stephen Wells, Tomar, well done, Stephen. And Doug's here. Goal! Greeted me like a young primate, like a man cave youngster. Thank you, Dougie. He's in again this morning. He was here yesterday, of course. You've got the take your pick gong for, yes, I know, giving away the town name. Whoops. The hell is related to summer. Oh my goodness. Okay, Trás-os-Montes are surrounded by mountains and hills, like the name says. So it gets really cold in winter and hellish in summer. Sorry, that was wasted on me then, wasn't it? I thought it was like cold and then really cold. So a hellish 3 months of summer and then 9 months of winter. I see what you did there. I see what they did there. Should have let me know you were in Tomar the other day. Could have smashed a Francesina down our grid. Yes, Gary, I didn't like to say because I knew I wouldn't be able to meet you with the schedule that we were on, but we will do that. Don't you worry. And I'm looking forward. Who would want to turn down such an offer of smashing I think that's meant to be Francesina down your grid. It's the sort of thing they say in Brum. Already RSVP. So that's up online, is it? I might have to go and have a quick look there myself. And we can read that out properly for you, how that's been billed there. On expatsportugal.com. What else we got here this morning? Ian Turner, great to talk to you yesterday, mister. Morning, a bit late, but was driving. Fantastic startup concept. Collectors will be on it. Yeah, that's right. There is a big collector market, isn't there? It tends to, put a premium on things, of course, if things are collectible. Winter training starts today for me, so we'll be snoozing later. Have a great one. Cheers, Ian. And from Doug, look at this. Emulating the youngsters in the community, there's Doug with a Gary or a Garoy, if you really want to do it in the local vernacular. So let's have a look then. What have we got here? We got on our coming up webinars, what's on in Portugal, and how have you done that, Matty? I'm wondering. I can't see that yet on my own website. So no, maybe you can send us the maybe you can send us the link for the Thursday webinar. It's probably gone out on email first, isn't it? And we'll be on the website later. So if you've got a link, Matty, do us all a favor and pop that in there for us. Capricorn 12, I've got your sunset, or one of your sunsets to show. Hola, bon dia. Good morning, Portugal. I think I'll have to book a trip in October, stock up on the vitamin D for the winter. So, yes, I think that's the sun. Did you send me a cracking sunset, Capricorn 12? One of many, possibly, but I'm going to show it anyway. Douglas from Gary. Quick look then at the Portugal resident. I don't think our mortgage lady is going to be here at the moment, but let's have a quick sweep then in the last few minutes of the show of the Portugal resident and see what the news stories are there. We haven't done this for a while, although we get the pictures are coming in. I know you do this on purpose. I now know you do this on purpose. Okay, Munster's about to finish. Let's start deluging him with lots of pictures and videos. I'm not going to fall for it every day, you know, but that's alluring, I must say. Colin, your beach. Oh, that's going with the sunset pictures a little bit later on. So don't forget, sunrises to start the show and sunsets to finish the show. That's a beauty, Colin. That's going in there for a little bit later on. Stick around for that, if you will, in just a moment. Beautiful. That's Ericeira, isn't it? So, yep, looking forward to including that for everybody. What else have we got? Or has anyone else sent something in? Oh, Thomas has sent me the eBay link, so I can get those. I can make a fortune with those bad boys, as the youngsters might say. Look at this lot. Watch. Douglas, hello, everyone. Loud noises. James, bon dia from Overcast, skip to North Yorkshire. Hello. And lots of love to North Yorkshire this morning, James. Primates. I really want to do a voiceover video of the man cave. So they'll be on the screen, a grid of them. I don't know, the young primates then. Here they are in their natural environment, drinking from tubes of cold liquid, no doubt laced with fermented fruits and cereals. The behavior tends to take a turn for the worse in the second and third hours of the man cave. They beat their chests. They rock their webcams in an act of defiance. Healthy Move Portugal. Hi, Carl. That's the link I got in email indeed. Oh, Matty here with Healthy Move Portugal. Ooh, operating under a number of monikers. We haven't got that link yet, though, Matty. So pop that in there, if you will. There's a good fella. And let's have a look. Wild camping clampdown by the look of it. Portugal resident. I do think this is a shame. And often it's the bad apples in it that spoil it for other people. What a shame that wild camping... the idea of wild camping is ruined by a few inconsiderate people, which seems to be the way it would go. But I guess if it really is wild camping you're doing, you wouldn't get caught, would you? And you wouldn't be seen. So the latest swoop by authorities on wild campers in beachside hideaways within the protected Costa Vicentina resulted in dozens of people receiving fines last Saturday. So they were rumbled. That's not what you're looking for, is it? With your rural getaway. Just got your head down and there's a knock on the canvas and a GNR officer issuing you with a fine. Not the sort of weekend in the countryside you would have been looking for. Minister appeals to all animal refugees. Sorry, no animal. I thought this young pup here was an animal refugee. It's an animal refuge. Ask for help because you'll never know what will happen during wildfires. Okay, so the ministry and the minister are offering to help animal refugees. I'm surely more work could be done as well to stop them getting so full up. You know, sterilization processes for animals would be maybe dealing with the problem rather than one of the symptoms there. I know you've got to do both, but talking to someone recently saying, you know, more money maybe could go into sterilizing of animals so we don't end up with the so many pups and kittens in these establishments that we're talking about there. Unfavorable meteorological cocktail there. You can see the headline for yourself, or not if you're listening on the podcast. Just a quick shout out. I like to do this every now and then. Lots of love to all you podcast listeners, because I know there are moments in the show when the rest of us are going, wow, look at that sunset. You're not going to be seeing those, are you? In the way that the rest of us might. I think Mrs. M's brought me a snack in there. She's hiding the chocolate from the children. It'll be safe with me. Unfavorable meteorological cocktail raises Portugal's fire risk to point of zero tolerance. That's not good, is it? And yeah, as I was saying, podcast listeners, when we're billing and cooing over beautiful pictures, I'm so sorry that's you have to just imagine it in your mind's eye, and you probably can, because in our mind's eye we've all got a beautiful picture, haven't we, of many places of Portugal and notably the Algarve. But Thank you. Thank you for bearing with the bumpy service just recently. I had to clear some space on the podcast repository. So if you're hearing me in your ears right now, thank you very much for being one of the fabulous podcast listeners. Really appreciate it. The unsung heroes of this community. Lots of love to you this morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening. Okay, so back to the news then. And number of public sector workers closest to highest of all time. That's, how do you feel about that? In many ways, wasn't it, somebody erudite like Socrates or Plato who said, when the young worship sports people and chefs, something like this, that might be the end of your civilization, which is a little bit of a chilling thought, isn't it? And I think the same might be true. I know we need public sector workers, but when the government is the biggest employer, and the government relies on taxes to pay those employees, don't you end up with a sort of ever diminishing? You've got to get a balance right, haven't you, of public and private sector? So I wonder if that's where this article is going. You can read for yourself. Number of public sector workers close to highest of all time. And of course, they're the least likely to be laid off, aren't they? When it comes to the worst of what the pandemic is going to be doing to, I was going to say businesses. They're not really businesses, are they? But the work sector, if you like. Shared housing scheme has already taken 300 homeless people off Portugal's streets. Well, that's good news, isn't it? Fantastic. I'm not going to read the gloomiest of these because it just hurts my soul to do so. I'm looking for some good news here. So I'm struggling now. Alagoas Brancas, the fight rages on over an Algarve wetland site. Okay, so a bit of a nature reserve there, but it sounds like there's a bit of trouble brewing there. And that's interesting. Sagres starts serological study to determine how long COVID-19 vaccine immunity lasts in this big experiment in which we're all involved. And briefly then, let's have a look at a bit. Okay, I don't want to read that. I mean, it's not because I'm being a Portuguese Pollyanna. I just don't think we need to go into the darkest of these stories. You can get that anywhere. Portugal enters phase 2 of return to pre-pandemic life on Monday. Oh, that's interesting. That passed me by before because you don't really know where you stand anymore, do you? With things, operating on a national and local level. So here we go. This is interesting. Portugal enters phase 2 of return to pre-pandemic life on Monday. Government announced this afternoon, this is going back 3 days though, that the country will enter phase 2 of its reopening plan on Monday. So that was yesterday. Good. Did you notice any difference? The state of contingency will also replace the state of calamity. Thank God for that. Thus further easing restrictive measures. Now, I think the state of calamity was a little bit lost in translation. I think a Portuguese calamity might not be quite as bad as my understanding of the word calamity. But anyway, the new measures were revealed by Minister of State and Presidency Mariana Vieira da Silva after an extraordinary Council of Ministers meeting and follow the announcement that 70% of Portugal's population is now fully vaccinated. Talking to somebody in Australia early this morning, and sounds like, it sounds terrible over there, how prohibitive and difficult lockdown is. And they've only got to 20 or 30% vaccination over there in Australia. So you can count yourself lucky if you're in Portugal. The start of phase 2 of Portugal's plan to return to pre-pandemic life will allow restaurants, cafes, and pastry shops to host 8 people per table inside. That's even if the table is a 2 foot by 2 foot. Back to the old days, crowded tables, yay! And 15 outside from Monday. The need to present a digital COVID certificate or negative test inside restaurants at weekends and bank holidays will continue. Cultural events, weddings, and baptisms will be allowed to take place at 75% of the venue's capacity, and public transportation means will also no longer be bound by any restrictions on capacity. Starting on September the 1st, public services will be able to operate without requiring bookings. Okay, good news then for the likes of us who need to go to CEF, Finances, Town Hall, etc. September the 1st, public services will operate without requiring bookings. Excellent. Although, if you find it easier to email than go in, do it before the 1st of September. You've got a week. Mandatory use of the mask in the streets when social distancing is not possible was also due to be scrapped in phase 2 of this plan, but the requirement will remain in place until at least September the 12th. This is because the government ruling which made mask wearing mandatory outside in crowded areas was approved on June the 12th, and it lasts for 90 days. Okay, It was approved by Parliament, which will wait until the period is over to review it. Okay, so there's a quirk of timing there. Portugal was expected to enter phase 2 of this plan only in September. However, the start of this second stage was anticipated by over a week after Portugal reached its 70% vaccination milestone on Wednesday last week. In fact, Vieira da Silva confirmed that the plan's third phase, which was expected to be in October, could also start sooner than planned, as the country is expected to have 85% of its population fully vaccinated before then. Final paragraph, everyone. Although the country's epidemiological situation is well under control, with the minister even describing it as comfortable. Wow. Vieira da Silva warned that the pandemic is still a threat and that citizens should continue taking precautionary measures. Be careful out there, basically, is the suggestion, I would say. Okay, thank you very much. Nice little look into what's going on through the lens of the Portugal resident. What else is going on here? The young primates and the older primates, the alpha males still reasserting themselves amid the noise and haste and the cut and thrust. Shall I get that fly on my head with this? Oh, result! Yes! Yes, got him. I got him. I swatted. I wonder if that's going to make an all-time legendary YouTube clip. Man swats fly on own capacious forehead. I did it. I didn't think I was going to do it. Not only with a fly swat, but with a special green one that causes all sorts of green screen problems. I feel quite accomplished. Portugal should be quite proud of its vaccine achievements. Yeah, well said, Jeff. Matty, I've already have my appointment with Finances on the 6th of September. Okay. Had to work around YouTube limitations, it seems, but above the link to Thursday's webinar, Carl. Where is it then? I still can't see it, but we'll catch up with that. We've still got a couple of days to go. The link seems, it seems to be too long for direct posting. Had to shorten it on my other account. The man cave now scares me, all those primates. Yes, you have to be very careful going into that place now. Good morning, Portugal is a beautiful, calming way to start your day, even with all that pandemic news. The productivity really goes through the roof after watching this show. Wow, it could be due to inspirational drive to get to Portugal. Yes, I'm sure that helps, Capricorn 12. And your name is so great, and it just sounds like a blockbuster movie with George Clooney in it, doesn't it? Of a lunar mission there. When I said rewilding, I didn't mean filling Portugal with primates, drenching the countryside with testosterone. No, that isn't quite what we had in mind, is it? Can I ask you, Gary? Is it gay? Can I ask you, Gary? It is Gabriel. I don't think he's known as Gabriel Austin, if that's what you mean there, Barbara, but I'm sure he can answer that question himself. There you go. And I still can't see it. Anyway, don't worry too much about that. We will find a way of getting that link to you. Good shot. Yes, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Matty! Andrew! Any news of the booster vaccines idea yet? I don't know, Andy. You'd have to ask minds other than mine to keep abreast of that sort of news. Hopefully, things continue to improve. Planning to spend Christmas with family this year. Oh, Elra, fantastic. Returning to Portugal. Hopefully, there as a final comment today. And let's just have a quick look at those sunsets, shall we? Let's look first at Capricorn 12s here. I believe it is. That is stunning, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. There you go. There's an Algarve sunset for you to close the show today. Another one there. I think that's one of Paul's there with a little bit of sea mist. I'm not sure. Forgive me because we are getting inundated with pics. Point is, there's a beautiful sunset for you, probably in the south. And in Ericeira, there's another one. Same sun, different location. And that's a nice looking beach there, not far from Colin's house, which I believe is on the market. If you want to buy near that view, you can do so via the Expats Portugal property page. Actually, I think I should put that in the comments because that's, if I can find it, that is. Real estate, there we go. Let me just give you a link to that. And some of the property listings that we've got. I'm going to pop that in the comments now, and you'll see the property I am referring to. Here we go, popping it in there for you right now. And there it goes. Oh, it's me WhatsApp where the link is. I see. Thank you very much indeed. That's great. Really good. Thank you very much, Matty. This is a real collaborative effort, isn't it? So here's the link for the webinar on Thursday for that rural off-grid special, okay? The one ending in 021, the link that I've just put in the comments there, if you want to book your place for Thursday. I think it's going to be a good one. No, I haven't grown any wings yet, says Garvo there. So he's not Gabriel, he's plain old Gary or Garvo. Nothing plain about you, sir. Carl, check your WhatsApp. Done that, and I think we're up to date. I think we're all good there. Have a splendid day. And if Capricorn 12 is right, all of your productivity will be boosted. Join me and Mrs. M this evening if you're of a spiritual or new agey or personal development, or you know what I'm talking about. If you're into that scene, join me and Mrs. M from 11 o'clock tonight, or as soon as the kids are in bed. Just a final go to share with you. And I am welcome from Matty, doing all that hard work for me this morning. Take care, folks. Have a great day. And we will see you tomorrow morning for a touch of Ask Anything About Portugal, a hashtag AAA. Ask anything about AAAP, hashtag AAAP. Tomorrow with the doc. So the doc returns tomorrow on his residency. So again, yeah, hemorrhoids, ingrowing toenails, and asking anything about Portugal. Tomorrow, Wednesday, on the Good Morning Portugal show. Have an excellent day.